school. So I was the non-physician healthcare member of that team. And I now, instead of being on that, I'm on the steering committee for that community health assessment and community health improvement plan. And so that was really fun. We interviewed a lot of the key stakeholders providing services for the community around health and wellness. And then 2,400 residents responded to a survey. And they identified 3 priority areas: healthy eating, active living, coordinated healthcare systems with community prevention, because we never prevent anything. We just wait till we have multiple diseases. And then the last piece is about kind of our environment and quality of life. So it even includes like dementia, air quality, those sorts of things. So I'm the chair of that. And then I'm in the middle now that I have a PhD. There's some other options in terms of leadership. So I would like to start the SDSU Ivy Learn Institute and its Leadership Evaluation and Research Network. So last Wednesday I met, and it's the dean from here. So we have public administration, criminal justice, psych, social work, all those things, teacher ed, but also College of Health and Human Services. So I'm trying to link all of the faculty and researchers to what's going on in Imperial Valley. And if they want to be a part of this, I would be that connector. So we have public health, social work, exercise, nutrition, physical therapy, even speech and language, nursing. So there's a lot of different members now of the team, and so that's my latest leadership project.
That would be great.
Sounds kind of fun.
Also, weren't you like, or when I was in your class, remember you had started like an association here in the Imperial Valley? Are you still part of that?
So that, yes, the Imperial Valley Nursing Council.
Yeah.
So now I'm applying to, actually, now it's gone on steroids. So what's exciting about that is Dr. Carlson, the one who authored Critical Care and mentored Stephen and Erica. So we now have, she's the principal investigator, and we have a research council at El Centro Hospital and at Pioneers Hospital. And then we've had a joint project through the Nursing Council. So yes, and based on our councils, we just did a survey, and we are going to have our own local chapter of the Critical Care Association. Yeah, so thank you for reminding me.
Definitely return that survey.
I remember that. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So we just met Saturday, and I think you should be getting another email, because we'll have the next meeting is going to identify who the leadership for it is. I think we came up with Imperial Valley Association for Critical Care Nurses. So because they had people coming from even Palm Desert, Yuma, and Blythe, and Alpine, who want to be a part of our chapter.
That's great.
And we'll get the charter, and so by May, when we have our annual conference through the Nursing Council, we could reach out, and what we're trying to even include is our ER nurses, our PACU nurses, because it's really any critical care unit. Yeah, so
that's great.
Yeah, that we started that back in 2009.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
remember that? Okay, yeah, it's been a
while.
Yes.
Like,
oh my gosh.
Still on.
And that's what led to this Learn Institute. Is all of the other disciplines like public health are like, okay, what you've done with nursing, we now want to make it interdisciplinary. So that's still intact, and so now that's where it's like, okay, how can the nurses connect? And that's kind of rare, because most of the time nurses, like you mentioned, we're at the bedside. We're not really.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
So in your leadership role, what are some of the major challenges that you currently face?
Time.
Time.
Yeah, so it's hard. There's never enough time to get things done. So you know how at the bedside you feel like, oh my gosh, that shift just went fast, and that you can't even think. It's like that in leadership. And what's hard is you have to be strategic. And I've learned you have to take opportunities as they come, but that's a challenge, because it's usually not on my timeline. So I'm trying to learn to under-promise and over-deliver, and that's really hard, because we had to, like the Nursing Council, like we knew we needed to do that, but it was extra work, and I don't necessarily, it doesn't fall underneath my current, role. So each step of the way I've learned the timing is important, and to have a good group of colleagues that you can bounce ideas off of. So it's about finding somebody you can trust as well, because as a leader, it's really hard. You don't, you want to be able to motivate everybody, and it's not about me. I think this other thing, it's always about the other people. So there's some humility, but then you have to have confidence. So it's kind of a balance of things. But yeah, for me, it's kind of timing and major challenges.
Yeah, and you're nursing.
And then dealing with different types of people. So I have to realize when I interact with people, like, and they kind of are in my face or come down on me, I'm like, okay, it's not about me, it's about them. And often it's just, I don't know what they're going through. And so that's kind of a challenge. So there becomes brick walls because I work for the state and different things. So, you know, I'm like, let's do this. And it's like, well, that takes time, and there has to go through this committee and policy.
At least you don't give up. You keep
No.
persistent. So that's good. So what else? So was there a particular person that has had a great impact on your career, and how did they impact you?
Oh gosh. You know what? I guess I am gonna say Dr. Ortiz. How about that? Because when I was looking at schools, he really did help point me in that direction. You know, it's fun. And then Dr. Rodilis, I really appreciated him when I came back. And I had this kind of rough night. My patient ended up dying. Really shouldn't have died. But the doctor, it was just kind of this match against me and this other physician. And Dr. Rodilis stood in that hallway and said, you know what, you're just a threat to him. You keep doing what you're doing. You're smarter than him. And you're an amazing nurse. I'm like, wow. So that was really helpful because he allowed me to realize, okay, I was right as that nurse. My gut instinct was right, even though it ended up really poorly. And that was kind of a pivotal time when I left the hospital. I'm like, I can't keep going through this. I got pulled off of that patient's case. And it was one of those things. So you know what, those two physicians really did help me. So early in my career and then later in my career, you know, with that, I realized, okay, I am a good clinician, but, you know, that kind of forced me to go in a different direction. Yeah. So non-nurses, interesting, huh?
Right. And so where do you get your most creative ideas?
You know what, now it's from my students.
Really?
Because you guys are all doing it, in my graduates. When you think about it, you're the ones that are currently in the trenches. So it's not about me. I'm not at the bedside. I'm at the table. So that's another motto you'll learn in leadership is if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And so that, you know, when I said timing is everything, I've learned that just showing up with the white lab coat on and representing, all of a sudden doors open. So if you're not there at that time and don't have that opportunity to communicate, you miss out on things. They don't see us they trust us as professionals, but they don't see us as leaders, right?
True.
So for me, that's why we love the research councils and our nursing council, because you guys know this is what's going on, this is what we're seeing, and then it's like, okay, well, let's go ahead and let's do some research on that. Let's start the policy, because policy then drives everything. So for me, that's the beauty of that, is it's not about me. I don't mind leading and doing the fun things that you don't think are fun yet. I guess I don't think they're fun either. But, you know, more the leadership or writing policy or who should we bring to the table, I can do that, but it can't come from me because I'm not currently in the field.
True.
That's why I love to talk to you guys. I'm like, okay, what are you doing? What's going to be your clinical? What's going to be your change project? Because you're going to have to do all those things.
Yeah.
And so then I can connect you because I know, hey, I'm not an expert in that, but I know this person is. Or, and some of the physicians, then it's a win-win for them.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, I guess you already kind of mentioned a person that impacted you. And what is the best advice that you have ever received in your professional career?
Grab opportunities. They always say grab low-hanging fruit. I'm like, what the heck does that mean? And it's true. It's like if an opportunity is presented to you, you think, me? Okay. So I've learned about imposter syndrome, and from the Valley, we never feel like we belong.
Right.
Right? So you go to the classes, and it's like, oh, they're from San Diego. Well, there's value from where we've come from, and we've had to work hard, and we're just as smart. Sometimes we might not take tests as well, but that shouldn't define us. But I think when I'm looking at the advice, I think most of the time people have just said, grab that low-hanging fruit. If somebody sees something in you and gives you an opportunity, take it. But that's hard because it takes a leap of faith, and you're like, oh, I'm not sure. And so it's been amazing, though. And about the timing of things, it's never the right time for you, but it's been crazy. So that's how I finished a PhD in 2 years. That's impossible. for most people. I don't. I'm like, I haven't got the diploma in the mail because they kept saying like, I learned there was a petition process, for everything, so they didn't like that it was going to be done. But what was crazy is every step of the way, because here I'm the only nurse, and they kept asking me, why did you pick this? You're a nurse. You're not an educator. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been teaching nurses. I'm educating in the schools. It was wild. And it wasn't until I met, it was like 3 classes in, and I met this guy who, he created Health Science High School in San Diego. And I didn't know that existed. So in City Heights, they created actually junior high and high school. Anybody in that community, it's a charter school. And if you want to be a health professional, you get to go to school there. Can you imagine that in 6th grade through 12th grade? And they set you up. So I was like, wow, hallelujah. This guy was like a godsend. He came at the right time. Mm-hmm. And so I'm in this class, and I've never met anybody like him. And I didn't do my homework. I hadn't Googled them yet. So we had him in a curriculum class. There were only 7 of us. And he goes, I get it. I fought for you to be in this program. They said that this program isn't for nurses, it's for teachers. Okay. So that as I learned more about him, they said, you need to go to this conference. Drive to Anaheim. So these opportunities. Like, okay, here I am, some Saturday morning driving to Anaheim. 15,000 people come to this conference. It's huge. Convention center. I walk in. His picture is on all the banners. And I'm like,
wow.
Oh my gosh. He's signing his autograph on all the books that he wrote this year. So we go back to class, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I did not know what a rock star you are. I am so ignorant. And so he says, Helena, who's your advisor? So I mentioned this person. He goes, how many times have you met with her? I'm like, once. So he says, and, if you asked me to be your chair of your dissertation, I wouldn't turn you down. And I'm like, oh, and so my friends are like, Helena, no one offers. And it was true. You have to beg and borrow to get them to do that. So he did.